Alright, welcome to another video. Again, it's me just filming on my desk over here and nothing really scripted again. You know me, I generally don't see the point of why people have to script their videos word to word, especially when it comes to YouTube. This is where you can just pretty much be open, unfiltered, and get to your point. So the reason I'm making this video, it's mainly two things, okay? It's about pretty much going all in, and I want to give you a story about that, and those are my main two things. Like there's a lot more that came into my origin story, I guess, and also you guys know. So when I was back in college, when I was right about to go to college, about 2 months in, so I started a business actually 3 4 months before that. This was once I finished high school. I was in my summer. I didn't really know what to do. I started picking up books a lot before that. So about 3 4 months before I started my business, actually, I started picking up a lot of books. So started reading a lot of good books, and I think that was one of the biggest needles because that helped me get a lot of mental models. It helped me embrace a lot of mental models that in turn made me stick it out and get to where I am here. Obviously, there's some luck that's involved. That's in general, and I'm just insanely grateful for that. But read a lot of books like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Atomic Habits, Psychology of Money, a lot of books about Stoicism, that's a big one. A lot of books about 50 Cent, The 50th Law, Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. So all those basic ones that you've probably heard of, right? But anyways, to the point, two months after I started my business, okay, so that's when I first met my mentor right now. And um, I remember I was on the call with him. He was obviously like he was selling me, and I was completely fine with that. But it came to the end of the call, and I didn't have the money to buy. I clearly wanted to buy, and I didn't have the money. So at the top of the call, I had to go and I had to ask my dad, sorry, for a loan. Like, can I use $2,000? I need this for this program, and I think it's going to change my life. And in that moment, he said no. A lot of parents, especially in India as well, they don't understand the idea of internet money, online money, and I was pretty much shut down. Like, this is a scam. There's no way you're actually just gonna pay a stranger this much amount of money, to go and do this thing. And my brother also entered the room, and he was giving me this one story because at that time he used to resell sneakers. So all those Jordans, those Yeezys, all those types. Don't really know a lot more about that, but yeah, he used to resell, and there were other co-sellers which he had stumbled upon in that space that he had bought, I think, or it was his friend that also met these same guys, and that friend was quoted twice the price of what he was quoted, so he thought it was a scam. And me being in that position, not earning any money, I still try to explain it to him like, no, that doesn't mean it's a scam. That just that guy doing business as he would do business. I mean, if my program was doing well, I would definitely increase the price. That's that's business. That's not being a scam. So I try to explain that as well. But end of story was I could not get them to do it. So I had to tell my mentor I'm not doing it. And you know, he didn't really give up on me, my mentor. He actually did help me for a few weeks after that for free, which was probably also why I came back. And I remember 3 weeks later when I came back, he told me like he did not expect me to come back at all. And I think that time he knew as well, like I'm gonna make it and I'm gonna do something because I pretty much stuck it out. Like I had a nice two, no, almost 2 months, yep, when I from the first time I spoke to him to when I actually bought. And I'll get in the story of how I actually bought, and that goes to my point of going all in. But before that, I want to talk about something very important, and this is a very personal story as well. Because that same night, I went to my roof in my building, and I just simply broke down. Like I sat there for like 30, maybe 45 minutes, and I just broke down. Like I was weeping. I was fucking crying my eyes out. And this was me as a 17-year-old. Oh yeah, so it was more than 2 years back. This was me as a 17-year-old who pretty much was told by they had two, like, these were the two closest family members of mine. These are the two closest family members to this day. And those same people told me I cannot achieve my dreams and they won't help me get to my dreams. And obviously that wasn't the intention, but that is what the reality of it was. I mean, clearly now that was the reality, right? That same course that I bought 2 months later has got me to where I am today. And that time, the reality in my head was obviously, yeah, like if you guys aren't gonna help me do this, this is literally gonna cost me my dreams. And that broke me down. Like obviously that fucking broke me down. And I don't really wish this upon anybody, but I know still like 99% of people have the exact same problems. When I'm talking about this 99%, it's probably you. It's probably you who's young, who wants to start a business, who does not like the fucking ideal path, who does not believe in the ideal path. And they want to do all these things, but they don't have the approval of their own parents, right? That's a big one. That's a huge one. And for me as well, it was a very big one because that night, I think it was the most symbolic nights in my entire journey in the last 2.5 years. It was where I absolutely broke down. I literally was shattered, and I still picked myself back up though. Like at the end of those 30, 45 minutes, I started telling myself all these positive thoughts. I started rewiring or reframing what I was thinking in that moment. And that is also truly where power is. It is how you think inside when, especially in those moments. Those are the key moments. And when I was thinking, what I was thinking was, okay, you know what? Like this can actually be good because I'm on my own now. Like I have to do this by myself. And the greater the shortfalls, the stumbles, the roadblocks, the bigger the win can be, right? As cliche, as corny as it fucking sounds. That was one of the things I was telling myself. Another thing I was telling myself, which was the most important, was I am in this for myself. There is nobody else that can do it for me. And that, as a 17-year-old, to sort of take up the responsibility of a man, of someone who's responsible for their own life, of someone who's literally not going to get help from their two most loved ones and have to go and do it on their own, that that was scary as hell at the same time, but it was also the most liberating because I knew I am steering the ship. Okay, I am now steering my own ship. And in the end of the day, if shit goes to fail now, it is on me. Even if my family members won't loan me the money, they won't help me, it's still on me now. Okay, because there's nothing I can do about that now. There's no convincing them. And I obviously crashed out on them. I'm not gonna lie and say I was a fucking amazing son, but I crashed out on them. That was something that I'm not ashamed to admit. But at the same time, I realized in that moment, like, okay, you know what? I'm crying my eyes out. I'm weeping. There's tears running down my fucking face. And part of it was obviously because they cannot even see the vision. They cannot even see the reality I'm trying to create. They cannot see these absolutely huge aspirations that I have, and they won't believe in it. That was a bit gut wrenching, but I could understand that point. But the biggest thing was understanding, wow, like, okay, I have to now do this by myself. Nobody is coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save me. And realizing that at that age, at the age of 17, very young, absolutely heartbroken, that takes power. Okay, and that is truly what separates the one and the 99. It's having that bravery to jump in those waters knowing that you're going to risk absolutely every fucking thing. You have absolutely no idea how to get to your goal. It all seems so far away. It all feels so distant. It feels like so out of reach. Like it feels like such a utopia dream that can I even do it? That doubt, that lingering doubt, but you still have the bravery to just jump into that water and then jump into that fucking pool, and then also realize that you have to take it all by yourself and you have to pick yourself up in these sort of situations, because that is when I was at my lowest and I had to pick myself back up. Okay, I had to do it. Nobody had to do it for me. I had to do it by myself. And that is the strongest thing, because once you do that and once you actually get to the other side, there is absolutely nothing that's going to stop you. Okay, nothing can defeat you then, because now you have yourself. You have what truly matters, and you've seen it happen as well. You have that level of confidence. In the start, the wall of doubt is so fucking big. It feels so far off, but then as you actually start seeing some motion, you start seeing some success, it is absolutely game over for your enemies. It's game over for your competitors. Now, going back to my story, I told myself that and I picked myself back up. And then I still stuck on it on my own. I was trying to do it by myself for about a month, month and a half. Then I go to US. So then I go for college. I go abroad to study, and this is something that I had planned almost a year back. So this was actually before I even started reading my books, before I started doing any of those things. So that was me making a decision with. So it was an old version of me that made the decision to go abroad and go study uni. But then when those next few months came and I sort of became this other person and started seeing all these different possibilities, these different outcomes, these different realities, these different mental models, the way I am now, going into that, it was not something I wanted to do personally, but I still had to do it anyway. And I went there and I remember this is me going all in. Okay, this is truly like having complete faith in yourself. This is truly understanding what it takes. Okay, I then go back and then I tell my mentor when once I actually got my allowance for the next 4 months. So when I go for the uni, for when I go for my college, it's August, September, October, November, and also some of December. So those 4.5, 5 months, I'm paid an allowance of $2,000 from my family, from my dad. So I have $2,000 to survive on the next 4.5 months for my uni then. And that was anyways less. That fucking amount of money is less looking at how I live now is, and especially there back then in the US, it's fucking expensive. Okay, it is fucking expensive. So anyways, that money was never gonna be enough. But I remember as soon as that money hit my account, as soon as it came, I messaged my mentor. I'm like, sign me up. I cannot pay it fully upfront, but I do have a job that I'm getting in this campus, and I got the job in my campus. That was actually one of the highest paying jobs in that campus. There it was like $18 an hour, and as a swimming instructor, like I was a swimmer back in there, so that's why it was the highest paying because I had those skills. I know how to swim like very fucking well, and I know how to teach people more importantly. So that was good. I did get those hours, and I was able to do like around 10 to no around yeah almost 10 a week. So I was making about probably another like $500 in a month if you want to average out. So I was making another 500, and then 200 of that was supposed to actually go into business because I had all these softwares, these emails that I had to like keep going. So half of that money was anyways going into business, and then the other half was for me to actually survive. So I remember those 4 months I lived like a complete brokey, like purely broke. And then the next 4 months as well, it was even more broke. Like like I like that was a very good experience for me. I've never actually lived poor. Like I've always had money. I've always had the comforts, the luxuries, the necessities. But those 4 or 5 months and even the next semester, that was fucking good. Like it was good. And you know those that low point where summer where I crashed out and I absolutely like broke down. That happened a lot more times in between as well because I did get my mentorship, I did get the course, and I remember as well when I did get the course, and like a week later when my parents, my dad and my brother found out, they again shat on me. They were like, you should not have done this. This is absolutely wrong. Like I'm absolutely hurt. Like I had to deal with the guilt of like actually hurting them of thinking because they were thinking, oh, like this is money that we sent to you for you to survive, and you just spend on this course that's clearly a fucking scam. And like I had to live with that guilt as well. So this is what I'm saying, like I went all in. Okay, there was no going back. I was in it, and I remember my mentor. He was saying at that time as well, like he didn't expect me to come back at all, and I came back, and he knew then that I was gonna do something because I was willing to stick it out. Okay, I didn't need the extra motivation. I didn't need the outside motivation. I didn't need all those added other layers and exteriors to tell me that I have to go and do this. I will still do it. I'm still gonna go all in because this is what I want. Okay, I don't need anybody else. He kind of saw that. I know he saw that, and fast forward a year, and well, I'm here now, and fast forward a year is actually when I started the business. It went from the ground up, you can say, and then now I'm here. So 2 years later, this is where I am. Like I can tell now gladly, yeah, that the reality that I had in my head was the reality that I was talking about that time, and I was misunderstood. From my own loved ones, from my own family members, and I also had to deal with the guilt of all of those things as it was going. And those 8 months were lonely fucking months. But I'm telling you, as painful as it was, as lonely as it was, as guilty as it was feeling, as demotivating as it could have been from the outside. I wasn't seeing any success for those 8 9 months. That's why I was still living fucking poor in college in the US. I was still doing that. as all those things are happening, I still fucking did it. I still stuck it out because I saw that reality in my head years back. I saw that reality, and that reality nobody could actually catch up to. I think Iman Ghazi talks about this a lot. And, watching those type of people, watching people like Hormozi, watching people like Charlie Morgan, that's really what got me through, because those guys got it. They understood because they were in that same place. They were in that same place, and I'm now in that place, and I'm telling you, it's kind of like a feedback where these guys come, they're inspiring people like me. I'm here making these videos to sort of inspire you, and you see how that goes, right? So they all have been through that, okay? They understood that reality will never catch up to the people outside. They will not be able to see it, but you still have to go all in. This is me filming without selling you any course. This is me filming without showing you any sort of proof that I'm charging anybody anything, okay? This is just me trying to give you inspiration because I have been in that same place, okay? I have had that pain. You can tell, you have these stories. You know exactly where it is I come from. You know me. I don't fucking hide anything. I am absolutely transparent. And that is why I'm making such videos. And that is why I'm telling you, all you have to do is stick it out on yourself. That's all you fucking need, okay? Don't expect that reality to catch up to others. They will never be able to see it. And that is also a price, okay? On this other side, now that I'm on the other side of actually doing it and actually seeing those things in fruition, that is a big fucking price that you have to be willing to pay. It's being alone, being in that solitude state, being in that state where nobody can see your vision. And I did have a few people, and I'm sure you will have those 2, 3 people that you still can go to and speak to. But I promise you, it will not even be your closest ones. It will most likely not even be your fucking family members, right? So that is it. That's how you do it. And I hope this video fucking inspires you. Like genuinely, this journey that, like, I keep looking back at it, and it's insane. Like, I'm insanely blessed. I would say I'm still very grateful, and I'm still very lucky because even in the last 1 year, what I have been able to do, most people who know exactly what I've just talked about have still not been able to do it. So I know I've been probably lucky, and also, like, I probably am just more crazier than them. I'm probably just more insane than them, but that's what it is. Okay, that is truly what it is. And I hope this video helps you stick it out. I hope this video really inspires you. If you're in those trenches, if you're experiencing those things that I've experienced and I've just talked about, I really, really do hope that you understand the message, and I'm rooting for you. I really hope you stick it out. I know it fucking sucks. I know it's fucking painful. That sticking out period, that sticking out phase, it is fucking lonely. But that is why you will be on top of everything else. You will be on top of a lot of the average people. Like, a lot of the average people, they're just fucking losers. Okay, they're just fucking NPCs. They're fucking losers. Nobody knows what the fuck they're gonna do. And a lot of them, look, a lot of them, I know personally, they're my friends. I fucking love them, okay? But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, everybody knows what the fuck they're talking about. Because honestly, they don't. Okay, they don't. Like, if you're crazy, embrace that shit. Like you should be crazy. You should be some level of crazy. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video.